Hello children, welcome to the class. Today let us discuss the second unit of geography, lithosphere. This is the third session of this lesson. Dear students, in previous sessions you have learnt about the meaning of lithosphere, the layers of the earth's interior, the crust, the mantle and the core, and about the rock, the meaning of rock, the formation of rocks and types of rocks, the internal forces of the earth, the volcanoes and the earthquake and the tsunami. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the weathering and denudation, the external forces like temperature, wind, rain and rivers, the meaning of underground water and its importance. Children, we have already discussed that the earth has two forces, internal and external forces. In previous sessions, we have discussed about the internal forces, and in today's session, we are going to discuss about different external forces. The external forces are the forces on the earth's surface. These are the forces on the earth's surface, and these forces are the natural forces that modify the surface of the earth. The external forces act on the surface of the earth and constantly change the features. And these forces are called as exogenic forces. The internal forces are called as endogenic forces and the external forces are called as exogenic forces. Children, the important external forces are the temperature, wind, rainfall, snowfall, river and glacier. These are the important external forces. These external forces cause for the formation of different landforms. The external forces of the earth cause for weathering and denudation. Children, let us discuss about weathering. Observe this picture. What are you observing here? There are so many pieces of rocks, and these pieces of rocks are formed by the process that is called weathering. Let us know about what is weathering. See, weathering is the wearing away or breaking down or gradual disintegration of rocks by different agents present in the atmosphere. See, the temperature, rainfall, wind, ice, these are all different agents in the atmosphere. These agents lead to the weathering. There are three types of weathering: mechanical weathering, chemical weathering and biological weathering. These are the three types of weathering. Let us discuss one by one. Children, what is mechanical weathering? See, observe the picture also. When the rock is broken and disintegrated without any chemical alteration, this process is called as physical weathering or mechanical weathering. Children, there are three important processes of mechanical weathering: granular disintegration, block disintegration, and exfoliation. And the important agents of mechanical weathering are temperature, wind, frost, etc. Let us discuss about chemical weathering. Observe the picture. What happened to the rock? Chemical weathering is mainly brought about by the action of substances dissolved in rainwater. This type of weathering results in changing the composition of minerals present in the rock. See, here there is the chemical changes, chemical reactions in the rocks, but in mechanical weathering there is no chemical reactions. There are mainly four types of chemical weathering: oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and solution. These are the four types of weathering. Let us know about one by one. What is oxidation? The oxygen dissolved in water reacts with certain minerals, especially iron, to form oxides. This process is called oxidation. Here, the oxygen dissolved in the water reacts with certain minerals in the rocks. Observe this. The color of the rock is changed here. Children, what is carbonation? When the rainwater falls on limestone rocks, the calcium carbonate present in the rocks absorb carbon dioxide from rainwater and becomes calcium bicarbonate. See, carbonation is the process of rock minerals reacting with carbonic acid. Children, hydration is the process by which some minerals in the crystalline form absorb water and become a powdery mass. And feldspar is a common rock forming crystalline mineral. And hydration is a form of chemical weathering in which the chemical bonds of the minerals are changed as it interacts with water. So, this process is called hydration. As it interacts with water, it is called as hydration. What is solution? See, when the rain falls on the surface of the land, rainwater dissolves soluble minerals present in the rocks. As the rain falls, it dissolves small amounts of carbon dioxide from the air, forming a weak acid that is able to dissolve limestone. This process is called solution. Oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and solution. These are the four types of chemical weathering. Let us know about biological weathering. The biological weathering is the weakening and subsequent disintegration of rock by plants, animals, and microbes. The biological weathering includes both mechanical and chemical weathering. See how the plants cause for the weathering of rocks. You know this, how the plants cause? See, the growth and expansion of roots cause for the disintegration of rocks. How the animals cause for the weathering of rocks? Yes, when the burrowing animals, earthworms, rabbits, rats, etc. make hollow on the earth's surface and they cause for the weathering. How the human being involves in weathering of rocks? The interaction of human being like mining, quarrying, construction work. The human beings cause for weathering of rock and the changing of the surface of the earth. So these are all the types of weathering. Children, let us discuss about the denudation. These weathering and denudation are the work of external forces. What is denudation? Denudation is the action of changing landscape or changing the surface of the earth. Which are the agents of denudation? These are all the external forces of the earth. Rivers, glaciers, underground water, wind, sea waves, etc. These are all the agents of denudation. Let us discuss one by one how these agents cause for denudation. There are mainly three types of work in denudation. Means the work of denudation involves these three processes. One is erosion and afterwards there is transportation and then deposition. And these works leads to distinct relief features. So, the erosion, transportation and deposition. These three are the important work in denudation. Let us discuss one by one. What is erosion? See, erosion is the action of surface processes such as water flow or wind that removes soil, rock or dissolved mineral. This is the action that removes the soil, rocks or dissolved material. What is transportation? See, after the erosion, the transportation is the movement of material across the earth's surface by water, wind, ice, gravity, etc. The eroded materials are transported from one place to another place. Because of the forces of the earth like water, wind, ice, gravity, the eroded materials are transported from one place to another place. This process is called as transportation. And the last work is deposition. Deposition is the geological process in which sediments, soil and rocks are added to a landform or a landmass. Children, observe this. What is this? Yes, this is a river. Can you define river? River is a mass of fresh water flowing from its source to mouth along a definite course. See, this is the source. Source of a river means the birthplace of the river. And the mouth of a river, mouth is the point where it meets sea or ocean. And tributary. What is tributary? Tributaries are the feeders or small stream which supply water to river along its course, and the point where a tributary joins the main river is called confluence. Children, let us know about the stages of the river. The course of a river is divided into mainly three courses: upper course, middle course, and lower course, where it joins the ocean or sea. Children, observe this. See, these are the three stages of the earth: upper course, middle course, and the lower course. In the upper course, there is steep slope, so there is vertical erosion, and in the middle course, the valley is widening and there is the work of transportation, and in the lower course, there is the work of deposition. So remember this: the upper course calls for erosional work, and the middle course there is the transportational work, and in the lower course there is depositional work. Children, let us know about what are the important landforms associated with different stages in the river course. Observe this picture. We can see so many beautiful sceneries on the earth and we enjoy it. If you visit any such type of places, you have to think about it. How these landforms are created and which agent causes for the formation of this type of landforms. See, this is a gorge. This is created in the upper course of the river. Gorge. Canyons. You have to identify all the landforms. Canyons, V-shaped valley, waterfalls. These are the important landforms created by the river in its upper course. All these are because of erosional work. Can you give examples for waterfall? Angel Falls, Niagara Falls, Jogue Falls. These are a few examples. There are so many waterfalls on the earth. Let us know about the important landforms associated with middle course of the river. This is the transportation work of the river. See, alluvial fan, meanders. Mainly, these are the two important transportational work. See, in the middle course, the river path has moderate slope and velocity is less than that in the upper course, and the volume of the water increases when many tributaries join the main river. The main work of the river in this stage is transportation of sediments and little deposition. Let us know about the landforms created by the lower course of the river. See, floodplain, natural levees, oxbow lakes, deltas. The examples for deltas are Sundarban Delta, Nile Delta, Delta of Kaveri River. Like that, we can observe so many deltas. These are all because of depositional work. Children, let us discuss about glacier. Glaciers are slowly moving compacted masses of ice and snow found in the high mountains and polar regions. The mass of the ice or snow is pulled down by its weight and due to the force of gravity. This is called as glacier. Glacier is the river of snow. There are mainly two types of glaciers: continental glaciers and mountain glaciers. What is continental glacier? Continental glaciers are extensive ice sheets found in polar regions. For example, Greenland and Antarctica. Mountain or alpine or valley glaciers. These are the glaciers found in polar regions are called mountain glaciers. Children, let us know about the landforms resulting by the erosional work in the glacier. The glacier also has the erosional work, transportational work and depositional work, and they play very important role in denudation. See, cirque, horn. Observe all this. This is horn. Arete, U-shaped valley. Remember, the upper course of the river causes for the formation of V-shaped valley, and the glacier causes for the formation of U-shaped valley. Observe this. This is hanging valley and this is rock step. See, these are all formed by the erosional work of glacier and the important landforms created by the transportation and the depositional work of glacier. Moraines, drumlins, eschar, cave, outwash plains and till plains. These are all created by transportation and depositional work of glacier. Children, let us know about moraines. The moraines are the most important landforms of the glaciated region. There are mainly 4 types of moraines: lateral moraines, medial moraines, ground moraines and terminal moraines. See, what is lateral moraine? Lateral moraines are rock debris deposited along the sides of the glacial valley. What is medial moraines? When 2 lateral moraines meet, it forms medial moraines. Ground moraines are the rock materials found on the floor or at the bottom of the glacial valley, and terminal moraines are the glacial deposits found at the end of the glacier. Children, let us discuss about the underground water. Observe the picture. Underground water is the subsoil water found on account of percolation or seepage of water into the ground. And the underground water which seeps into the ground passes through various layers of rocks. Children, observe the picture. This is the picture of pervious or porous rocks. The rocks which allow the water to percolate is called pervious or porous rocks, and the rocks which do not allow the water inside are called impervious or non-porous rocks. The porous rock beds which hold large amount of underground water are called aquifers, and the pervious rocks allow and hold water and form springs. What is spring? A spring is a place where the underground water comes out naturally. Children, there are mainly 5 types of spring: perennial spring, intermittent spring, hot springs, geyser and artesian wells. Let us know about one by one. What is perennial spring? It is the spring through which water comes out continuously. When the water comes out continuously, this is called perennial spring. And the springs through which water comes intermittently, means not continuously, and this spring is called as intermittent spring. They are also called as periodic spring. Hot springs. What is hot spring? Whenever the warm or hot water comes out naturally, then it is called the hot spring or thermal spring. They are usually found near volcanic region. The geysers throw a jet of hot water and steam into the air at regular or irregular intervals. The example for geyser is Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park of USA. What is artesian wells? When the underground water is stored in a basin-shaped layer between two non-porous rocks, the water cannot come out naturally. And if an artificial hole is made, the water comes out like fountain. When there is artificial hole is made, then the water comes out like fountain. This is called artesian well. These wells are common in Australia. Which are the important landforms associated with groundwater? See, lapis, sinkholes, limestone cave, stalactites, stalagmites. Observe all this. And calcite pillars. These are all the landforms created by underground water. Children, let us discuss about wind. The denudation work of wind is common in arid or desert region. When the winds of high velocity blow over desert areas, they erode, transport and deposit materials to produce different landforms. Which are the important landforms associated with erosional work of the wind? See, rock pedestals. This is mushroom-shaped rock. And Inselberg. Let us know about the depositional work of the wind. See, sand dunes. This is the longitudinal sand dune. And barkans, loess deposits. Let us know about the sea waves. Sea waves are the important exogenic agent of denudation. The sea waves are regular undulation of water on the sea or ocean. Sea waves are significant along the seashore or coast. The important landforms associated with sea waves are cliff, sea cave, sea stack and sea arch, headland, sandbars, beaches, lagoon. These are all the landforms created by the sea waves. Till now, we have studied about the different agents on the earth which cause the changing surface of the earth. Children, write down all these questions and write the answers and show them to the teachers. Children, do these activities. Collect the different rocks from your environment and prepare an article on different types of rocks and collect the pictures of different landforms created by denudation. Thank you, children.